All right, today I'm talking about water filters and water purification systems. I've got a couple different water filters here. This is the first one I ever bought. It's your Sweetwater backpacker filter. It's kind of the basic I see a lot of people go with. There's a lot of different ones on the market, but I've seen this one out in the field quite a bit. It's pretty simple. I've had mine for a while, so it definitely lasts. However, there are some concerns with it that you have to be careful of. Packs away in a fairly small bag, so it doesn't take up a lot of room, but it is a little bit heavy for that size. One of the things I don't like about it. Protects against just about everything. Protozoa, bacteria, virus, I believe. Have to check on that to see what that is. But for the most part, most of what you're worrying about is going to be, at least where I camp, there's a lot of just protozoa that you have to worry about. This kind of hooks together, fastens here, so you have your pump action here. You've got your source water tube. This is just a little sediment filter right here with a little kind of bobber on it. This allows it to kind of float upright in the water, hopefully. It doesn't always work because the tubing itself is a little buoyant, so it tends to want to suck in air, be on the surface, kind of suck in air, just kind of makes your system go a little, makes your process go a little longer. This is just a little cap that goes on the nipple right there while it's in storage. And so this just goes on here. This goes into your source water. This right here has the out, it says out on here, so you always know which one is which. Goes here. Currently it's got a setup here. This has little adapters in it, so you can go straight into a different sized containers based on, you know, what you have. Right now I currently have just a standard Nalgene, but you know, it goes all the way down to smart water bottle and just, you know, all kinds of various mouths of your bottle that you might have. So this fits in here, and you just kind of pump through here. Now this is a fully flushed out filter here, so it goes pretty quick. I'm already at 100 liters, up to 200 liters right now, so you can see that's going pretty quickly. The problem I have with it is you're on task with water. That's the only thing you can be doing. I don't love that aspect to it. You know, you start lining these up, and the more water you need, obviously the worse this goes. As that, if you do have sediment in your water, the more you filter, the more sediment accumulates in the filter, the harder this gets to pump, the less water flow you have. It starts to become a pretty tedious process. I don't like this camp chore, so I like to just kind of set my water to either leave it sit with a pill or treatment here and just kind of let it disinfect that way, or I'll set it up in a gravity filter and just kind of walk away and let it go that way. I have had this piece here break out in the field. It wasn't mine. It was somebody else's, but it did snap, kind of just virtually exploded, or there wasn't even like a fix we could do on it. Luckily we had backup systems with us, and you can always just boil your water too. So that's, you know, kind of the easy fix for that. But then we're hauling around a bunch of dead weight, which I always find irritating, especially when I'm backpacking. I don't like carrying stuff that takes up space if I'm not going to be using it. So that's the Sweetwater system, backpacker filter. Works well. It's just one of those things that I've kind of moved on from it. There's better stuff out there at this point, in my opinion. And, you know, I don't want to carry around excess weight if I don't have to. This is just a little extra filter that I have in here, and here's your cleaning brush, little whisk brush for cleaning the filter out. That kind of all packs away into this little system right here. So that's, like I said, that's your Sweetwater backpacking system. This is just what's this, the Katadyn My bottle, something like that it's called. This is just a straight up filter. Scoop your water and sip away. This is my second one of this. The first one I had was their older model. It had more kind of a, didn't have a fold away spigot to it, which was a little irritating, and it did finally break on me. But this one also allows you to just kind of sip right through it, and I think this one you can squeeze, whereas the old system you couldn't squeeze through. You had to just sip it through, which was kind of hard to do. This one maybe, I think, again, I'd have to look it up, but I use this mainly for, because it is heavy, this filter in here. It's kind of a heavy, especially when you put water in it. You get this kind of soaked with here. You're carrying around a little more weight than I would really want to be doing. I use this typically for canoeing, for just scooping in my boat in the middle of a lake when I want some water and don't want to wait. It works really well for that. $40, $30, something like that. Not too expensive. And again, canoeing is the best application for this one that I've found. That's the only time I really use that system. The last filtration system, this is what I use backpacking. Now this looks like it's a lot more than it is, but these are just water bladders, tubes, and a syringe and the Sawyer Mini. So I can actually pack this away much smaller than this if I need to, and be a little more space economical if I need to. But the Sawyer Mini, I think the original design is kind of more along the lines of what the Life straws become. I think that was their main idea with this, and how it comes with a little straw also that you can use, and just you know, hook your little straw up to here and have your little tube coming out of here and just drink straight out of there. Put this in, just drink straight out. I've never used it with that application. What I did is I found something online of somebody who turned this into a gravity filter. So all I have here, a couple of platypus water bladders. You could use any water bladder, as you know, whatever setup you have, I guess. The key to this though is it has this threaded spout here. This is the water bladder I have. Usually when I'm backpacking, I bring another one almost this size, maybe even a little bit bigger. And then a couple of these, because they do fold up, they don't weigh anything, and when I'm at camp, then it allows me to have a lot of water on hand for cooking without having to wait for boil times and stuff like that. You have something to drink right off the bat. You have a lot of water to drink with, to do whatever whatever you want to do with, cook with, and without having to go back to filtering or, you know, wasting chemicals or anything like that you might be disinfecting it. So it has a little back flush syringe that comes with it. I've got my different water caps here. For clean water ones, when they're filled up, you just kind of screw the top on, and set those aside. And then a dirty water one for if I just have some water to filter, but I don't have any room to filter it into. It's kind of your the next step, so you don't have to go back down to the water source or whatever. But just have them labeled so that you're not cross-contaminating your water. So how this works, this is the Sawyer Mini here. It's got the little cap on it here. So there's a little kind of idiot-proof flow direction there, so you don't screw it up. But there's really no way you can, because the side that goes into this is the threaded side, and that screws on thusly, and the end of the tube kind of attaches onto the end of the Sawyer Mini. And then this adapter also works on smart water bottles, but it's just going right on the end of your platypus here. And you got yourself a nice little gravity filter. This particular one I have for my dirty water because it's got the zip top closure here. This came with my Arc'teryx Aura 80-liter pack. I don't use that anymore because of this, or because it's huge. But this is the only thing that I kind of still use with that system, that came from that system, because it has that nozzle on the bottom, kind of that side nozzle, and it has a zip closure. So if I'm in my canoe out in the middle of the lake before I'm coming to camp, I can just scoop some water in here, and I've got a full container of water. I can scoop it with a pot or something, a cooking pot from camp, pour that directly into the top here. Just makes for really easy loading of water here. You can do that job really quickly. It has a little zip top closure, which you can close or not. That's kind of the drawback of this, is that zip top doesn't necessarily seal effectively all the time. So I've had a couple of accidents in the pack, which is why I've gone away from this, but it just works really well for this application. I tied some paracord through here, tied some knots in it so it holds into these little grommets, and I'm able to hang it from a tree or whatever's available to me, so I can get that gravity system working. So how this is going to work is just pour some water into here. And I think this is a 2-liter bladder. It should be enough for what we need it for here. I think this is a 2-liter bladder. I have a larger platypus bladder that is more this style. I think it's a 3-liter. So I'll use that to be kind of my base water at camp at night. And then you have just a large quantity of water right out of the gate. So I'm just going to hang this up over here. And if you can see, it's already coming through here, coming down through the tube and pouring into here. Now, occasionally as you're going along, you might have to break the seal here, just kind of loosen it up a little bit to release some air pressure. You'll kind of see at the end here, because this is flat to begin with. Works better that way. If you have it pressed all the way flat, and you're going to get better flow from it. So while that kind of drains, we'll go over the 2 chemical options here. This is just straight up iodine, and this has been sitting in my life jacket for the past I don't know how long. And so you can see kind of the corrosion on top. Now as I've twisted this off, I don't know if you can tell, well, this just kind of fell apart. So I'm going to have to replace this bottle. But it does have a screw top to it, and they're just little iodine tablets here. And what you do, really simple process, again, while you're out in the canoe, it's easy application out in the canoe. That's why I have it in the life jacket, easily accessed. I can get water, scoop water, put 2 tabs in, lightly close it so there's still allows for some air to escape. Let that sit kind of right at my feet or something as I'm going along, if I know I have a long paddle ahead of me, or if I'm coming into camp. That's what I'll use, because that is a nice easy little system to use. Need a better bottle apparently. Aquamira, this is the other system here. Same principle. You're allowing it to sit for 30 minutes before it's purified and ready to drink. Iodine, there's a color and a flavor to it. So it will, with like plastics like this, it'll turn it kind of that yellowish color. And there is an iodine flavor to it that I don't mind as much as other people do. It's a complete turn off for some people. Complete deal breaker on the usage of that. In that case, you can go to Aquamira. And Aquamira is a 2-part system, purification process, the same thing. Put your dirty water in here. Got your mixing cap. And part A is your treatment, 7 drops of this. Part B is your activator. 7 drops of this. Mix that around and let this sit for and mix for 5 minutes. Dump it into your water, let that sit for 30 minutes. I think it's 20 minutes and then 30 minutes if your water's a little bit colder. This is kind of was the go-to stuff for the backpackers on the Appalachian Trail hike. That was what people were saying everybody was going with. You can see obviously 2 bottles versus 1 bottle, depends what you want to go with. But this is a pretty effective system. It has a little chlorine flavor to it, but it doesn't have that iodine flavor. I don't like I really don't like the chlorine flavor all that much. And I actually prefer this, but what we do to kill the taste of both of them is take a little Crystal Light packet or whatever flavored juice or whatever you're using and dump that in, and that kills the flavor effectively. Put a tea bag in there, something like that. Those have worked really well. You don't really taste it. And so I enjoy those. Those work really well. Both of them really inexpensive and both really effective. And like I said, this is just something, this is kind of my backup. Obviously in camp you can boil water or filter water, and this is just kind of a little backup just in case you have a system breakdown for whatever reason, or you don't want to wait, you're out in the middle of the lake and don't have, you know, the capability of boiling water out there. So this is just a little quick backup system you can also carry along, and like I said, it's really small and easy to carry. So you can see this is already filled, and you know there's still water in there. So what you would do is just unscrew this, you know, kind of hold this up, kind of with the so that the water doesn't spill out. Hold that up, fix it to your next container, let it go, and you're off to your next task. That is why I enjoy that. That's my backpacking one. It's light. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's super convenient. Really, really like that system. That's my go-to pretty much everywhere I go. Now the thing is, I have gone to fairly clean water destinations most of the time. I've used it in glacial lakes. I've used it in Lake Superior. The Bounty waters tend to be really clean water sources to begin with. They're very clear. There's not a lot of sediment in them, so I've had better luck with it. I haven't brought this on any of my trips ever, the little back flush system, but I was having a conversation with somebody and they basically made me realize I did go to many clean water destinations, and if that were to clog in the field, you can just get a lot more force with it. I always thought I'd just maybe blow through it and whatever. And you can obviously just get a lot more force with this and back flush it. If it does happen to clog, you're not kind of SOL with that system. So let's see if we can get this here. As you can see, there's still some water in it. So like I was saying, you just kind of you would hold this up so that the water isn't going to spill out. A little air pressure release there. And then, this is where this not being sealed is kind of a pain in the butt. Just pour this back in. And this is just a little 1 liter bladder here. Water all over the place here, but so that just fits right into here. Hopefully clean water. That's what you're using here. So always make sure to use your pre-filtered water here. That just sticks into here. And there's a little bit of sediment in there, it looks like. So I don't know if you saw that little cloud go in there, but yeah, there's a little bit of sediment. So that's how that system works. So all these systems work really well. I've had good luck with all of them. My preference is my latest little gravity filter that I've had here. Aquamira is always a good little backup to have along. Have a chemical and a filter system usually when I'm out there. to some degree. Iodine, good, but has a flavor to it and a color. Some people are turned off by that. This has a small chlorine flavor to it, but both of those are easily fixed with just a little Crystal Light or some kind of fruit juice, powdered fruit juice, poured into it, tea, something like that. Those will help kill those flavors. So those are the systems that I use, and I hope you enjoyed it.